Most new event planners pick their price the same way. They guess a number that feels safe, then cut it in half because they are too scared to charge that price. And the worst part is that they then resent every client who says yes because they don't feel that they got paid their worth. So if that's you, it's time to stop it. So I'm going to give you the real 2026 numbers around what planners are actually charging right now, so you can set a price with a straight face. But first, let me tell you why the number you are guessing is almost always too low. And my name is Jessie, and welcome back to Green-eyed Ambition, where we talk about the unsexy things about running a event industry business or service-based business in 2026 and beyond. So the reason why we're talking about this is because new planners undercharge their price really based out of fear instead of a solid model, and that gets in the way each and every time. And unfortunately, that is a reason for a lot of doors that are actually closing. So what happens is that you find yourself pulling a number out of the air because nobody ever showed you the right ranges to be able to have a thriving business. So what you think to do is you just price off of what you would pay and not what the market pays. Those are not the same numbers at all. And because it doesn't feel right, you drop your price the second the client hesitates, or you train clients to haggle you back and forth. And what the hidden cost is that you book the work, then you resent it because the money does not match the amount of effort and time that it will take. So it just costs you in hours. And that's the fastest road to burnout in year one. This is not a confidence problem you fix with some pep talk. It's a pricing problem that's going on. So once you have the model, the confidence will appear and you feel great about what you're doing and definitely getting paid what you deserve. So when you're not doing this correctly, you feel like you're bad with money. And I'm going to let you know, you're not bad with money. You just never had the actual numbers in front of you. So here they are. We're going to take away the curtain so that you're able to understand how to calculate the best price for your business, knowing what is the industry standard. The goal is to stop pricing from fear and a money lack mindset. So there are only 3 ways event planners charge this day and age. And once you see all 3, picking yours gets a lot easier. So I'm going to share with you a framework to help you understanding more about each one. So here's exactly what we're going to be covering. First, the 3 pricing models every event planner uses and the real 2026 numbers for each one. Second, what specific events actually paying this right now? Is it weddings, corporate, day of? So you'll have some real benchmarks. And the third thing, how to set your own first numbers without undercharging. By the end, you will be able to name your price this week and stand confidently 10 toes behind it. So now let's get into the 3 pricing models with some real numbers so you'll know what events actually pay in 2026. And I'm going to challenge you to pick at least one before anything else makes sense and you have a better foundation. So there are 3 ways to charge, and each fits a different kind of event or service, and it also works differently depending on the stage you are in your business. And every event planner you admire is using one of these, and that's it, regardless if they're sharing it or not. The first one is going to be a flat fee, one set price for the whole event. It's best for clear, defined scopes. Ranges in 2026 run anywhere between $1,000 to well over $10,000 per event. And of course, these numbers will differ depending on where you're located, because let's say you're in Mississippi. What you're going to be charging for your services in Mississippi will likely be different than what someone's going to be charging in Colorado, which will be a lot different than someone that might be in upstate New York. So here's what you do want to take in consideration with this range. You do want to know where you are located so that you're able to understand what is the possibility in the market. Location, location, location. So with a flat fee, it's all going to come down to your location. So please remember that. So you always want to know the range, and it's important to know that location matters in everything I'm going to be sharing. All right, the next one is going to be hourly, which is best for consulting and day of help. So new planners land around $25 an hour. Experienced planners are charging $100 and up. And in big metropolitan cities like New York and LA, it climbs to $150 to $250 an hour. And here's a little tidbit. Even though it says hourly, the way that you want to think of it is that if I'm doing a half day or day of and I'm giving people 10 hours, I would say I would highly recommend to do hourly packages so that you are not falling victim to scope creep or definitely undercharging for your time. The third one is going to be a percentage of a budget. So you charge a cut of the total event budget, usually is around 10 to 20%. And it's common in weddings and corporate events. So for example, on a $5,000 event, a 15 to 20% fee is roughly around $7,500 to $10,000. So that's how some people are actually coming up with their pricing, because they know that my average client is spending a certain dollar amount, so they are charging the proper percentage. So I hope that these numbers were able to give you a little bit of a framework so that we can dig further into this conversation. So the mistake is that a lot of people want to default to hourly because it feels safe. Hourly definitely punishes you for doing things faster, where flat fees and percentage pay, you are getting paid for the result, not the clock. So here's a quick rule. Define scope if you're going to go with a flat fee. Big budget events go by percentage. And then if you're going to do coaching, then you can do hourly. And I'm not here to tell you which one to choose, but I'm going to recommend pick the model that matches the types of events you do and the area that you're in, not the model that feels the least scariest, because a lot of these will potentially make you feel scared and uncomfortable if it's more than what you're already charging. So now that you know the three models, let me show you what the real events are actually paying in 2026. So you have a number to anchor onto. So the market already has going rates, and you should price inside of them, never below. And these numbers are based on some of the research I've had and the conversations that I've had with other people in our industry. So these numbers are from this year, not numbers from 5 years ago or pre-pandemic. So for full service wedding, people are charging anywhere between $3,500 to $15,000 and up. National average is around $5,500 for your services. In major metropolitan areas, they're charging anywhere between $7,000 to $12,000, and that's pretty normal. When we're talking about partial planning, people are charging anywhere between $2,000 to $6,000. Our average spend is around $3,200. For day of coordination, we're talking about $1,200 to $3,500 average, and the average is around $1,800. This is where most beginners start, and most start too low. However, those of us that are in the corporate events vein, they do pay more, roughly 30% more comparable to social events. A corporate event can spend $50,000 with you, which carries anywhere between $7,500 to $10,000 planner fees. The thing to know about these trends is that the fees are up 10 to 15% every year in major metropolitan cities because of labor costs and tighter vendor availability. So if your price has not moved in 2 years, you have quietly been giving yourself a pay cut, unfortunately. If your number is below these ranges, the problem is not with your market. It is that you're hiding and undercharging for your services. So I do hope that this has been insightful for you. So how do we now take all of this and land your number when you're just starting? That's the last piece, because we're no longer undercharging for our business. I'm going to recommend for you to look at your real numbers and make sure that you're not going below. But again, please take in regards the area that you're in. But even if you are in a lower bracket kind of state, I know that there's this desire to charge lower because you're in an area that maybe the average person doesn't have a certain kind of budget. And I'll even say, for those of you that are watching this right now, if you aren't necessarily aiming to do a premier or a luxury kind of service, that still doesn't mean bargain. Because what happens is that a lot of times when people are undercharging, you're not aware that you are not bringing in enough money inside of your business to continue to go. So that becomes an issue with you staying open over the next year or two. Maybe you might be married and they're okay with you not making money and you're just out here working for free. But if you're not trying to work for free and you're trying to pay yourself, pay your bills, pay for your team, you're going to have to make sure that you're charging a price that actually matches your true capacity, the type of service you want to provide, and the type of client that you want to work with, because all three of those things are going to play a part. So if I said that the day of runs anywhere between 1,200 to 3,500, as a new planner, that does not mean that you are going to charge 1,100 or $1,000. I'm not saying that at all. You want to make sure at the bare minimum that you're falling in between this range if you're someone that's new. For those of you that have premier services, you probably aren't even watching this video, but if you are, of course, you're going to have a higher day of because of the type of intricacy and skill level that is there. So you want to check your numbers. The second thing that I'm going to recommend for you, especially if you are a little bit uncomfortable, I'm going to recommend you use founding client pricing on purpose and intentionally. This is a way for you to build up your portfolio, still make money, but also ensure that people are not passing along that you are an affordable bargain option. Is intentionally leveraging your first few clients as a word of mouth, with them also being aware that you're giving them a founding client price. You want to make sure you do that because you don't want it to be that they reach out to you in 2 years or even in 6 months and you got all these new clients and you have a lot more experience, that they're still going to expect that same cheap price. You want to definitely clearly explain to them that you're taking on a few clients in exchange for building up your portfolio, taking photos and things of that nature, so that you are ensuring that they know and you're also getting something in exchange that's going to help you with growing your business. And I would even say give them some type of incentives for referrals too, because people love gifts, discounts, and incentives when done correctly. And of course, you want to get testimonials. Another tip that I want to recommend for you is to make sure when you're creating your pricing, you want to price for the whole job, not just your time. You want to think about all the hours, your actual software, your travel, taxes, and your profit margin. I have done videos on understanding those dynamics, so I will make sure to have a video link to my recent episode talking about that. And the reason why you want to take into account all of the hours and these other factors is because if you're only thinking, well, I'm only working 8 hours on this day of, what about all the calls? What about any walkthroughs? Every moment that you're working on someone's project and event, that is time that you are not getting compensated for, and that you would want to make sure there's a way to get compensated without price gouging, of course. And if you do not build in profit, you have created yourself a stressful hobby and job. So make sure your packages have a clear scope and making sure your clients understand what is included and what's not, so that you can ensure that if you need to have anything extra, that you're charging accordingly. And the clearer your packages are, it helps you with creating simple proposals and getting your contract signed, potentially for even more money when you do it correctly. And for those of you that are new and you're trying to build up your portfolio, or you may not be charging within the proper range, what I do recommend is after anywhere 3 to 5 clients and you're starting to feel more confident, I highly recommend for you to reevaluate your pricing and skill set. And if all of this makes you feel uncomfortable, I highly recommend for you to start saying your numbers out loud and being comfortable with it. Because what happens for some people is that because they're not comfortable saying what their pricing is, they will kind of say it timidly, which ultimately invites people to want to haggle you due to the lack of confidence you're having when you're communicating what your business needs to charge that specific client. And those who know what I'm talking about, you probably have been guilty of it, where someone's like, oh, what's your price? You're like, I charge. Like, no, be confident. The cost for my service is $1,000 for me to do X, Y, and Z. I would love to be able to help you with your wedding. Our 2 packages or 3 packages are X, Y, and Z. Clearly say that, because when you're not confident with how you're communicating your pricing, you will almost always welcome people wanting to undercut your price. So if you're hiding inside of your business with your pricing, I am going to recommend that you stop. So you're wondering, how do I take all of this and land your number when you're just starting out? That's the last piece to this whole conversation. A real beginner price is the floor of the market with a margin built in. Anything under that is not you being humble and is definitely unsustainable. Here's the bottom line. You do not have a confidence problem. You have a pricing model problem, and you just fixed it. Pick one of these 3 models, find your services in the 2026 ranges, and set your numbers at the real floor with margin built in. Do that this week. And if you're not quite sure as to how to integrate tech, learn ways to be able to find resources for your business, as well as the best tools that I recommend for you, I have a free resource that's called the Complete Business System Stack. And I'll make sure to link it in the show notes so that you're able to check it out. So definitely grab it. And I'm going to encourage you to set your price tonight. All right, for now, I'll see you in the next video.